Welcome to Gentle Restorative Yoga Blend. I think I got that right. In this class, we start with some gentle work, mostly stretching, just to loosen some things up. We move into some restorative work, sometimes throughout the class, sometimes more toward the end. For the restorative work, you're going to want to have some props, could be bolsters, pillows, cushions off your couch or throw pillows, towels, blankets. We're going to use these to support ourselves in our restorative poses. We will hold the restorative poses for several minutes. So we have to stay comfortable, but just allow the joints to open and stretch in that supported restorative position. So we'll use those a little bit later. I am sitting on a blanket right now. It's always a nice option to sit on a blanket to raise the hips up, to bring the hips more level with the knees. Starting in a comfortable seated pose in Sukhasana, finding our way, rocking our hips from side to side so we're grounding both sides of the body equally down. And then we're lifting up through the core, through the spine, through the top of the head, finding length and lift in the body. Nice to keep the front body open, roll the shoulders back and down. Let's activate the core a little bit, draw the navel in and slightly up. Think about engaging the pelvic floor a little bit, our Mula Bandha. If you can feel those two sits bones grounding into the floor or blanket, imagine drawing those sits bones together by lifting the pelvic floor and drawing in. That's your Mula Bandha. Let's practice that for a moment. As you inhale, you can relax. As you exhale, you can lift and squeeze. Inhale to relax. Exhale to draw in. Let's just bring our hands to our knees now. We'll start with a little cat-cow, seated. We'll inhale to lift the chest and arch the back into cow. We'll exhale to scoop the abs and curl the spine into cat. Lift and scoop and lift and scoop. Now let's come back to neutral spine and just slide the rib cage from side to side. Just mobilizing the spine here to begin to loosen things up. Now we're going to stir the pot. So we're going to lift the rib cage and swish around one side 3 times, pushing, scooping, stirring the pot. Reversing direction, another way, 3 times. Coming back to stillness, coming back to neutral with a nice tall spine. Let's just tip the right ear toward the right shoulder. You can rest your hand here for a little more resistance. You can lightly pull, but not a lot. We're just trying to find some openness here in the left side of your neck. We'll come back to center, and we'll tip the left ear toward the left shoulder. Again, option to rest the hand or just lightly pull. Now opening up the right side of the neck. Coming back to center. Now stacking the spine tall. Imagine your spine, imagine your head sitting on top of your spine. We're just going to tip the head without curling the neck. So keep the neck long and just tip the chin down. Pull the back of your head up. Finding length in the neck. And we'll lift back up. Let's turn the head to the right. And while we're here, we'll just drop the chin. We'll lift the chin, turning back to center. Now turning our heads to the left, we can drop the chin. Lift the chin, coming back to center. Let's go ahead and switch the cross of our legs. Ground our sits bones again. Let's bring our fingertips down. Make some half circles. Warming up the spine. Now, We can bring our right hand to our left leg and sweep the left hand behind. That left arm props us up tall, gives lots of lift to the spine, lots of length. You can make fists if you want to put your knuckles down, or you can put your palm down. Inhale, lengthening your spine. Now exhaling, we can twist to the left gently. We're still just getting things warmed up, so don't force this. Just breathe, relax into it. With each inhale, you might find a little more length in your spine. With each exhale, you might find a tiny bit more rotation. Relaxing back to center. Now we can bring the left hand to the right thigh. We can sweep the right hand behind with the palm down or the fist down. Inhale the spine tall. We can exhale, we can twist. Just a gentle melting twist. Coming back to center. Bring our fingertips down again. Lift the sternum, really open the front body, shine your chest forward. Inhaling, we sweep the arms up, turning the thumbs back. Exhaling, we press down. Inhaling, we rise. Exhaling, we press. For 3. For 2. Let's hold it up on 1. Let's try to keep the shoulders packed down. Let's imagine we've got a big beach ball that we're holding here. We're going to lift and then just sway to one side, finding some openness in the side body. Inhaling back to center. Exhaling, we're swaying to the other side. Arms are nice and active like you're pressing into that beach ball. We'll lift back to center. We can float the arms down. Now let's bring the soles of our feet together for Baddha Konasana, our butterfly pose, our bound angle pose. I'm grabbing my ankles here. Some people like to grab their feet, and I'm not going to say that's wrong. I'm just going to say I don't want to twist my ankles, so I'm going to grab my ankles here. I'm going to inhale tall, and then exhale, pressing the chest forward and down, keeping the spine long. Bringing those elbows lightly to the inner thighs if possible. If they can touch, you can add a little pressure, but it's not a strong pressure. Inhale, lengthen. Exhale, sinking deeper. Open the hips. Taking your time. Letting your body tell you how far and how fast to sink. And rising back up. Let's come down onto the floor now, onto our backs, for constructive rest. On the back, the feet about mat width apart or wider than your hips if you're not on the mat. So the knees fall inward. Make any adjustments we need to make to our spine, to our neck to find some comfort here. Just find some breath first. Just follow the breath. Feel free to close your eyes. Focus awareness on the breath. Let's begin by trying to equalize the inhales and exhales. Maybe you want to count to the music. You might hold it 1, 2, 3, 4, out, 2, 3, 4. Or longer. So, equalizing the breath, trying to make the inhales and exhales about the same length. So whatever length you like. And moving to our box breath, where we add pauses. And the pause here, it's not a clenching of the breath, it's a light hold. So we'll inhale for whatever count we're using. And just lightly hold for the same number of counts. Exhale for the same number of counts. Lightly hold.
and repeat. So you might want to visualize a square, and you're traveling around each side of the square, inhaling up one side, pausing across the top, exhaling down the other side, pausing the breath across the bottom. As we finish our next round of the box breath, we can return to normal breath. Now taking a deep inhale through the nose and sighing out through the mouth, we can release any remaining tension. Sealing our lips, focusing on breathing in and out through the nose with Ujjayi breath, ocean breath. Now, sliding the right leg out and drawing the left leg in, we're grabbing the left thigh with both hands. Inhale, exhale to squeeze the air out. Inhale to press the foot toward the ceiling. Exhale to squeeze the air out. Inhale to press. Exhale. Inhale for 2 and 1. Let's just let that left hip sink down into the floor, holding behind the thigh or the calf. Inhaling, exhaling to find perhaps a little more range in the hamstring stretch. Sinking breath here. Inhaling to maintain, exhaling to find a little more depth in the pose. Now, left hand can grab the left thigh, and right hand coming out to the side to balance us. We're lowering that left leg out to the side. We've got some support from the hand here. You're going to find whatever range works for you. Opening up that hip out to the side. Stay here for a few breaths. And then gently bringing that left leg back to center. Switching hands. We're bringing the right hand to the left thigh and the left arm out to the side. Now we'll float that left leg across the body over to the right side. Keeping our shoulders down but rolling onto our hip here. Breathe into it. Just think about melting, not forcing. Now floating that leg back up. You can hug it in and release it out and down. You might want to bounce our legs a little bit here. Now we're drawing the right knee in. Inhale and exhale, squeezing the air out with the leg. Let's inhale to flex the foot and press toward the ceiling. Exhale it down. Inhale. Exhale. For 3. For 2. And 1. Let's press the heel toward the ceiling. Now let's consciously sink that right hip down into the floor so it's really grounded. We can hold behind the thigh or behind the calf. Inhale. Try to exhale a little deeper into your hamstring stretch. A couple of breaths here. Now sliding that right hand down to that right thigh, letting that left arm come out to the side. We'll float that right leg out and down. Again, you're just going to find whatever range works for you here. A few breaths here, opening that hip. Then floating that right leg back up, bringing the left hand to the right thigh, letting the right arm come out to the right side for balance as we float that right leg across to the left side of the body, keeping our shoulder blades grounded as much as we can, rolling onto our hip. You're going to feel a sensation right here in your outer hip of your top leg. And floating back up, drawing in, releasing out, shaking out the legs. Slide the heels in now, so we've got our knees bent. We'll cross the left ankle over the right thigh. We'll grab the right thigh with both hands, draw in for our supine pigeon, pressing our left elbow into our left inner thigh, opening the hip. Now dropping that right foot down to the floor and sliding the left knee kind of over the right knee. The legs can fall to the right with the left leg on top. Arms can drape to the left. Head can turn to the left. Nice spinal twist here. And we'll float those legs back up, uncross. This time bringing the right ankle over the left knee with both hands grabbing the left thigh, hugging in, pressing the right elbow into the right inner thigh for our supine pigeon, hugging in that left leg, opening the hip. A couple of breaths. Lowering the left foot down, we can slide the right knee over the left knee. The knees can fall to the left with the right leg on top. Arms can drape to the right, head can turn to the right as we melt into spinal twist. Coming back to center, uncrossing the legs. Now rolling onto one side, and I'm going to give you the option whichever side you want to roll onto here. Stacking hip over hip, shoulder over shoulder. I have my knees kind of a side-lying tabletop, a right angle bend. Arms extended, palms together. I'm going to open like a book. So I'll inhale to lift up, and I'll exhale to open. My legs stay down. Inhale, lift. Exhale, close. Let's do this 3 times. Inhale, exhale, inhale, exhale. For 2, inhale, exhale, inhale, exhale, and 1, inhale. Exhale, open, inhale, up, exhale, close. You can roll to the other side or flip end to end. Either way, just get to the other side of your body. Stacking hip over hip, shoulder over shoulder. We've got the side-lying tabletop legs, palms together, arms extended. Inhale, up. Exhale, open. Take a couple of breaths here. And we'll flow it for 3 times. Inhale, up. Exhale. exhale, close. Here we go. Inhale, exhale, open. Inhale, up. Exhale, close. For 2, inhale, exhale, inhale, exhale, and 1, inhale, exhale, inhale, and exhale. Let's roll into our hands and knees. Bring our big toes together, open our knees wide, and we'll sink back into a child's pose. Sliding our fingertips forward, floating the forehead down toward the mat. Let's bring awareness to the lower back and feel that spine decompressing as those hips sink toward our heels. Now we can float our hips up, coming into puppy pose. So hips over knees, hands sliding forward, forehead coming down, sinking the chest toward the floor. Let's bring our hands back under our shoulders and press up to all fours. A nice long spine, shoulder blades sliding down the back. Inhaling the right arm into the air. Exhaling, reaching under. Inhaling to lift and open. Exhaling to reach through with a gentle twist. Inhaling to lift, this time exhaling to thread the needle. Reaching right on through, dropping that right shoulder down, perhaps resting the right temple on the floor. We can press into this left hand to deepen our little twist here on the side as we thread the needle. We can also extend the arm forward, the top arm, to open the side body. We can bring the left hand back under the left shoulder and inhale the right arm back up. Exhale back down to hands and knees, other side. Inhaling the left arm up. Exhaling, reaching under and through. Inhaling to lift and open. Exhaling under and through. This time we'll thread the needle. Inhale. Exhale, slide through. We can drop the left shoulder down. We can rest the left temple on the floor. We can press into the right hand to deepen the twist, or we can extend the right arm forward, opening the side body. And now bringing that right hand back under the right shoulder and inhaling to lift up. Exhaling back down to hands and knees. We can step one foot forward and then the other. Coming into a forward fold with soft knees, the head hanging heavy. Inhaling to halfway lift, coming to flat back. Exhaling to release to forward fold. Inhaling this time to circle sweep and rise all the way up. Bringing hands to heart center, feet hip width apart. You can sink back into chair pose. Let's inhale to rise, extending the arms up. Exhaling to chair. Inhaling to rise. Exhaling, just bring hands to heart center. Let's toe heel our feet in a bit, touch our big toes together. We're going to do a gentle twisting chair here. So we'll inhale to extend. As we exhale, let's bring the left arm across the right leg. Just gently twist. Inhale to lift. Exhale the right arm across the left leg. Inhale. Try to keep a nice long spine here. Exhale. So we're not hunching over. We're lifting up through our sternum, finding length in the spine. As we gently flow this twisting chair. One more time, other side. Let's come back to heart center. Let's step out a little wider now. Perhaps having our legs as far apart as our legs are long, but adjusting if we need to. Keep our knees pointing toward our toes. Let's roll the shoulders back. Interlace the fingers behind the back and press the knuckles toward the floor. Lift the chest up. Now, hinging from the hips, we can come down to flat back. We can stay here, resetting the shoulders, lifting the arms off the back if we like, or we can go deeper if we choose, letting the head hang, lifting the arms up, rinsing out the shoulders. Releasing fingertips down to the floor under the shoulders. Coming up to a flat back here, so nice extended back. Placing the left fist under the nose, we can inhale the right arm up. Relax it down. Placing the right fist under the nose, we can inhale the left arm up. Relax it down. We can bring the left hand to the right leg. Inhale to lift here, so we can pull against your own leg for more range in your twist. Relax it back down. We can walk the right hand to the left ankle. We can grab on. Inhale, lift the left arm. Deepening the twist. Coming back down. Let's just find that long spine and then drag our fingertips in a figure eight, an infinity sign. Reverse direction. Let's shift over to the right foot for Skandasana. Just for a couple of breaths. Side lunge. Option to lift your heel if you want to. We'll shift over to the left foot, Skandasana. Couple of breaths. Lift the heel if you want to. Coming back to center. Coming to flat back, shifting the weight into the heels, bringing hands to hips, we can rise up. Let's do a quick tree pose today to practice our balance. If you want to have a chair handy to grab onto, you could use that for support if you like, but there's some options here as well. From mountain pose, hands at heart center, we can shift our weight and ground into the right foot. Let's activate that Mula Bandha and that core block as well, so we have lots of activity in the core. Let's try to find a stationary spot to focus on. Option one, we'll just slide that left foot out with a kickstand, just resting the toe as we balance on the right leg. Option two, bring the left heel to the right ankle. We have a very narrow base of support. Narrow base of support is harder to balance. Option three, foot to calf. Sealing the foot against the calf, creating equal pressure. Pushing leg into foot, foot into leg. Another option, bring the foot above the knee, not on the knee please, but above the knee if you like, to the thigh. Couple of breaths. Relax back down. Now shifting our weight into the left foot, sealing the foot, activating the core and the root, finding our stationary gaze. Option one, kickstand. Option two, heel to ankle, narrow base of support. Option three, foot to calf. Option four, foot to thigh. Equal pressure, foot pressing against leg, leg pressing against foot. Finding breath. Relaxing to shake it out. Let's move into our restorative portion now. We're going to start on the mat.
seated. So, on the mat, caterpillar is our first pose. This is a forward fold, but it's supported. So, one thing I like to do that's a nice option is to roll up towels under the knees so that I don't lock out the knees as I hold the pose for several minutes. The idea here is to keep a long spine and fold forward and rest on your supports. You can put your supports like between your legs if you want to, but I prefer them myself on my thighs. I get more height automatically that way. Use as much as you need to. Again, the idea is to not have a lot of rounding in the back, so it's not hunched over, it's extended. So use as much as you need to find that nice extension in your spine. It's helpful to sort of inhale and lift and lengthen and exhale and hinge forward. We can stack our hands and rest the forehead on the hands. We can also grab opposite elbows and rest the forehead on the arms. So find what feels good to you. Make sure you have enough support. You might also want to sit on a blanket here. That's also a nice option. So optional blanket here, optional towels, lots of stuff to support you. Inhale, lengthen, exhale, folding forward. Closing our eyes. Let's take a moment and kind of scan the body. Look for any tension. Relax the legs, soften the knees. Relax the back. You have enough support that you shouldn't have to engage your back muscles to hold you up at all. Let's bring awareness to our shoulder blades. Make sure that the shoulders are relaxed, the shoulder blades are sliding down the back, kind of melting down to the sides of the body. Inhale and exhale. It's always nice to take a couple of really deep breaths and try to sigh out any residual tension.
taking a deep breath and pressing ourselves up. We can take our stack of stuff to the side. And move on to our next pose. Next pose I'm offering is a reclining hero's pose. This can be a little challenging on the knees or the hips, so I'm going to offer you an option first. So if you don't like the hero's pose, you can do a fish pose. For fish, you just want a long blanket, a long bolster or pillow, or maybe a couple of pillows together so your head is supported. You're going to scoot your backside up to the bottom of your bolster and lie back. With supported head and back, hips are grounded, arms can come down, out to the side or overhead if you like. So that's the fish option. What I'm going to do is that plus, it's the supported hero pose. And for this, I want to build up some more height in my bolster. And I might need quite a bit of height. I'll play with it later. And then I'll be using my towels again as an option. Now, hero pose is on your knees basically, and you can try it this way, letting your hips sink and lying back. But I'm going to use a block. You could use a pillow or a small cushion under the hips to sit on, so that I'm not crunching my knees quite as much. I like to put the rolled up towels under my ankles, so I'm not locking my ankles out a lot either. And then I can lie back with support, so I'm not going all the way to the floor. And again, I can have as much support as I like here. So this is my supported hero's pose. So try this or try fish. And if you try this and you don't like it after a while, just, put yourself out of the fish instead. It's fine. This is either of these poses is a heart opening pose. So perhaps we want to close our eyes here. Perhaps you have an eye pillow or a washcloth to put over your eyes if the room is light. This is where I always encourage you to practice that heart-focused breathing. Imagine drawing the breath through your heart, bringing that heart energy into the world. It's a nice time to think about people we care about, people in need perhaps, and send them some good energy, wish them well. Little loving kindness meditation, which will benefit you as well as benefiting the people that you're sending out your goodwill to.
Taking a deep breath. We can open their eyes. We can press ourselves up. If you've been in hero, you may want to reach forward into child's pose.
And lift up.
We can put aside most of the big stuff now. Next up, we're going to do a restorative spinal twist. So I do a lot of spinal twists. This time, we'll do a restorative version and hold it for a few minutes. So you might want a little padding under your lower back, but not too thick, not too wide. And then you'll need something like a cushion to put between your knees, and you might want a little something for under your bottom knee as well. Let me show you what I'm talking about. So let me come down to my back with my lower back supported here.
The low blanket, not a lot of height here. Knees bent. I'm going to drop my knees to one side. Now my leg is down, so that's fine. But if my leg isn't quite getting all the way down, a little support here, so it's not just hanging in space. Nothing should be hanging. So if your leg isn't grounded on its own, put a little something under it. And then my top leg's not really on top of my bottom leg. There's some space here. So again, I want things supported. I'll just stick a little blanket there, a little pillow there. So everything is somewhat supported. My shoulders are down. My hip is stacked. So I'm rolling onto my left hip here as I mirror you. Arms can come out to the side. And again, if we have eye pillow or if we have washcloth, we can cover our eyes here. And just take the time to really relax and melt into the spinal twist. This may not be as deep as a twist you would normally take without support, but we'll hold it longer, so we'll give everything a chance to really release and relax into it. Now lifting our knees back to center, switch to the other side, but keep in mind that the two sides may not be the same, so you may or may not need the same amount of bolstering on the other side. So we'll drop our leg other side. If our bottom leg comes to the floor, we can just leave it there. If it needs a cushion or a blanket, that's fine. We can use our pillow between our thighs here and settle back in. Taking a deep breath, lifting legs back to center. We can put aside any cushion or pillow we have between our thighs and just hug the knees in. Roll them 3 times one direction and 3 times the other direction. For final relaxation today, I'm offering either normal Shavasana with no props, lying on your back, or Mountain Brook. For Mountain Brook, I'm going to take my sort of thin blanket that I was using and move it up so it'll be behind my shoulder blades, kind of just under my arms here. I like to use also a rolled up blanket for my knees for support in Mountain Brook. Everything's optional. And an option, I can take one of my rolls and put it under my neck. Now it might be too big initially, so I can just unroll it up this way or roll it back up as I need to find a nice support for my neck and head as well. All the support is optional. You're welcome to just do Shavasana. We'll settle in. It's always nice to kind of adjust your hips and shoulders to find that nice comfortable length in your spine. Adjust your head to find that nice comfortable length in your neck. Let the feet just fall out to the side. Legs are soft, knees are soft. Hips are grounded. Just feel your belly sinking into your abdomen. Your body melting into the floor. We can close our eyes. We can put our eye pillow or washcloth across our eyes. Maybe 1 or 2 really deep breaths just to release any tension. Just to let the body sink and melt into the floor. Just to feel fully supported, fully grounded. And then bringing awareness back to the breath. Just to observe the inhales and exhales. And go deeper into Shavasana. Deepening our breath. Bringing movement to our fingers and toes, our wrists and ankles. And bend our knees and plant our feet and roll to one side. With one hip stacked over the other, one shoulder stacked over the other, just pausing to breathe. And then with as little effort as possible, press ourselves back up, finding our comfortable seat. Bringing hands to heart center. The light in me honors the light in you. Namaste.